All right, welcome back. I'm now being joined on the program by two party chieftains now of the two main parties at before the election petition tribunal now. Here in Lagos, I have Chief Joe Igbokwe, who joins us on the program, and also joining us from Abuja is Dr. Kach Ononuju, who is, of course, a chieftain of the Labour Party. Joe Igbokwe is, of course, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program. Let me start with you, Mr. Igbokwe. Give me your take on how the election petition panned out for you.
Let me be honest with you. We are not expecting anything less because we did our job. We prepared for this, for the elections. And we had the best candidate ever, a man with good and excellent track record. A man that has a deep history in matters of leadership. A man that has been tested and trusted. A man who waited for almost 30 years to throw his hat into the ring, to contest for the presidential elections. And when we were going into the elections, we never had any shred of doubt that he will not win. Because he planned for it, spread his tentacles across Nigeria, build bridges, build friendship. And we are waiting for reward for hard work. That's all. If you had watched me, if you have listened to me, I never had any shred of doubt whether he's going to win or not.
Okay.
We planned it very well, we executed it very well, and we know he's going to emerge victorious.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you now. Let me go to Dr. Kach Ononuju in Abuja. Dr. Ononuju.
And he won.
What's your take on the outcome of the tribunal case?
Well, the tribunal case showed us how mortally destroyed the institution of state known as the judiciary is. I will not get angry because I believe the 8-year rule of Buhari destroyed a lot of our institutions. We have seen how the banking sector was destroyed. We saw how the security architecture of the country was destroyed. We saw how other parts damaged our money system, our banking system. So we didn't understand how very damaged the judiciary was.
So you're essentially saying that the five judges were really biased against your party.
No, they were not biased against my party. They were biased against the constitution. The 5 judges did not rule according to the Constitution of Nigeria. The 5 judges, I don't blame them because what they simply exhibited was the stench of damage that Buhari's rule brought upon the institutions of state, and in this case, the judiciary.
So what exactly, I don't think what aspect of the judgment now would you have issues with? I mean, I know you are not a lawyer.
A lot.
Yes.
A lot. Listen, but I'm a Nigerian.
Yes.
On the issue of 25%, which we've known, the APC, Tinubu had begged that he knows he's wrong, that he didn't get 25%, but he should not be disqualified based on that. You saw the judge said it doesn't mean a thing. On the issue
but do you
money laundering,
do you honestly think 25%, I mean, 25% votes in Abuja is a constitutional requirement to be declared the president of president of this
I am
country
only speaking on it
after an election, sorry.
I speak because the language in the constitution said and it's been decided before by the Supreme Court, at which President Buhari took Obasanjo to court, and the Supreme Court told President Buhari that what you needed to be president in Abuja was to gain 25% of the votes cast. But in that judgment, the judges say it doesn't matter.
I'm sorry. I know that the Supreme Court has ruled on this before, and the Supreme Court's ruling was that, look, you know, not having 25% votes in Abuja would not invalidate an election if you fulfill the other requirement.
No. What the Supreme Court said in Obasanjo versus Buhari was that Obasanjo did not need to win Abuja. What Obasanjo needed in Abuja was 25%. Don't go out of it.
Yes,
Secondly,
yes, I understand,
on the
but I'm
issue
saying
of
the Supreme Court did not say.
Let me give you another one. Another one on the issue of a crime for which there was a punishment in the issue of money laundering in the United States. The judges said no, that the issue of the money laundering is a sin against the money, and so the money had been seized. The owner of the money has no cause, it has no bearing on him. That's a travesty of justice. On a lot of things, just look at the evidences we brought, certified through copies, stamped by INEC. We brought them to the courts. The court said they don't see evidence. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is, I don't blame the judges. What I'm trying to do is, I ask myself, the penalization by the U.S. State Department against our judges in regards to visa ban, I didn't understand it well. I said, let me see if that action by the State Department was actually merited. And the decision by these judges simply tells me what the Americans saw is true. So let's not talk about, it's not us versus them. No, it's our country. We pray it gets well. I'm not going to scream. I'm not worried. I am just praying Nigeria gets well. We got up to 60% of the problem solved when we got rid of Buhari. When Buhari left, the violence stopped. And from a state where Buhari's sting operation called Unknown Gunmen killed several people. And I know very well
Dr.
that Buhari left
I'll come back
Tinubu
to you.
Stopped.
Let me get Mr. Igbokwe to react to some of those issues that you have raised. Mr. Igbokwe, you want to react to it? I mean, he talked about, Dr. Ono, did you actually raise some legal issues here, you know, talking about the 25% votes now in Abuja. I mean, you know how, of course, the Court of Appeal ruled on that. And he did talk about the issue of the issue of the funds now involved in the indictment of the president before United States in the United States of America.
DEJI, you know, I don't want to dissipate energies on these tribal things, you know, but because I heard what he's saying, let me just say something. You see, for you to become the president of Nigeria is 20, 25, 30 years job. It's something you can just come out one morning, go and pick any political party that has no structures anywhere in the country and say you want to be president of Nigeria. Where is your antecedents? Where are you coming from? Where are your friends? Where are the bridges that you have built? To me, it sounds like kindergarten things. So these people really believe that Labour Party won the election or Atiku won the election. Is that what they are saying? I have been the publicity secretary of our party for 15 years in Lagos. I've been a party man. So I know what it takes to win an election. As far as I'm concerned, they are not prepared. They were not prepared. They are not prepared. Even in the next 4 years, they won't be prepared for this election. They don't have anybody anywhere. So they are now blaming the judges. They are talking about 25% that we have not heard about before. We've not heard about it before. That you must score 25% in Abuja. What is Abuja's status? These things are excuses you put on the table because you have failed. You know? So this is an election that Achiwaju was slated to win outright because of what he has done. Now we have people all over the place. Some people are LP, this. You can't win an election in Nigeria without structures. Without having friends in the north, without having friends in the west. It is not possible. It's an impossible task That's what we've been telling them. If you want to win election, go and build people, go and connect, go and make peace with other Nigerians. Now they're here, pushing out things that will help to divide our nation, instead of building a nation. So to me, they are not in the ballot. Even though they tried, but it was not, right from the one, if you have followed me, I've reached my conclusion that this is Achwaju's game.
Now, let's look at the political side of things now. Mr. Gwekwe, you look at the outcome of the election itself. You could argue to a large extent that President Tinubu was actually lucky that the PDP was divided going into that election, because if you look at the total number of votes scored by Obi and that of Atiku, I mean, if you add that, it's more than what President Tinubu actually got in that election. So if the PDP had gone into that election as one party, they probably would have won the election. So you think that, don't you think that division actually played into your hands? Because when you look at it, when you dissect this properly,
DEJI.
Yeah, go on.
What happened is just Obi's factor. If Obi was in PDP, we wouldn't be saying all these things now. If Obi was in PDP, we wouldn't see these votes that we got from LP. It would be there. And let me tell you, Atiku was not supposed to be in the ballot. Because we agreed, I am the author of Failures of Democracy in Nigeria after 1993 election crisis. And I documented the tragedies that happened. And we said that power will continue to rotate between North and South until we are matured enough to play politics, the real politics. Atiku knew that Buhari just finished 8 years in office, that power is zoned to the South. He still insisted. Not only that, he went all over, sneaking from one state in the north to another, preaching what he said is, what he said, he called it Naka, say Naka. I am your own. I am your brother. Vote for me. That's what we saw. Ethnic cuts. So if Mr. Peter Obi had been in PDP, there wouldn't have been Labour Party. We would have defeated them outright. Because in the first place, Atiku was not supposed to be in the ballot. Because we agreed. Did you know about it? We agreed. So what are they talking about?
All right.
So you think that if all of the if he was in PDP, that he would garner this kind of votes that he got from LP, from Christians?
Let me just pause you there.
Dr.
Ononuju, I'll come back to you, Mr. Gwekwe. Now, Dr. Ononuju, you look at you were a member of the PDP for a very long time, and before the election, you defected to the Labour Party. And you look at what happened with the benefit of hindsight. Don't you think, whether it's the Labour Party or the PDP, that in fact the opposition actually lost this party as a result of the implosion in the PDP, and that, look, if the PDP had been won, the story might have been different?
No, I think you're wrong. You are listening to the man talk about a mundane conjecture. He has a mindset of the past. We went to election with the youths. The youths have 80% of the mind share that drove the elections. The youths are 73% of registered voters. It was a youth movement. It has nothing to do with Mr. Obi or Mr. Atiku or Tinubu. It was youths. Youth started this movement 3 years ago.
But this is
and
where
when the candidates came out, youths now followed.
This is where my problem is, Dr.
Let me finish.
Let
me finish. You allowed me, Sigbobe. Yes, let me finish, please, so that people will get my stream of thoughts.
Okay.
It was not about Peter Obi. It wasn't about Tinubu. Tinubu belonged to APC. APC lost out because they were imploded. The PDP died because the youth left them, followed Obi into what you call the youth movement. It was that youth movement that defeated the old political war horses. That's what happened. Because it is because of that youth movement that you saw the blowout win from the exit poll that showed that Peter Obi defeated Tinubu in Lagos, defeated Tinubu in Abuja, defeated Tinubu in Port Harcourt, then this is for you to understand the strength of this volcanic movement by the youths. Stop talking about personalities. The gentleman is talking about mundane conjectures that don't make sense. Look at today's reality. There is a youth-driven movement in our country, and that movement, not regarded by the elders, defeated the elders in February 25th. That's what I want to tell you. It was the youths. Yes,
now,
please.
This is my question. Let's be frank. The PDP came second in that election. The PDP is a party you belong to, and you can't deny the fact that the PDP is a strong force in this country. We can't deny that. There's just no way. And when you talk about the youths, you have youths across this country. You have a huge number of the youths also from the north of the country. And you saw the way they voted. You saw the way, for instance, even the so-called youth in the north voted. But the truth is that the PDP is a strong force. You think if the PDP had not had that crisis it had, if Peter Obi had been in the PDP and Atiku also in the PDP and they had gone to that election as one party, you think that the outcome would have been the same? I'm asking this just because it's important to learn some political lessons from this.
And I'm telling you that you are behind the curve. I moved before you. I was in the PDP. I moved. I told Peter we can do this. He said what? I said the country is changing. We saw about the wave. We saw the youth movement that took place 2 years before the elections. Don't forget this. The youth movement started in Lagos. When we saw that movement, we recognized that there were cascades of emotions splintered all over the Nigerian streets. That was why Peter Obi defeated everybody in in Plateau, in Benue, in Taraba, in Nasarawa. Ask yourself, why did Peter Obi score such blowout wins in Southern Borno? Why did he take so much wins in the Christian areas of northern Nigeria, who were afraid of the insecurity brought about by the Fulani militia that the APC could not control? I am telling you, you did not see it. What I saw that brought about the volcanic move that gave Peter Obi the blowout win is what I'm trying to describe to you. Forget about the old mundane conjecture. They don't make sense. Peter Obi won the election. We know that. Now that the elders have annulled it, but I can tell you something. They can only try to deny this force. Nobody has the capacity to stop this thing. It is the same as some pastors like TB Pressure warned us. When the wave will come across the Sahel, nobody can stop it. It has now come, and that's what we're noticing. So don't try to go by the old conjecture. Old man, this is not true. The old parties lost. The APC lost. Tinubu wasn't even being worked for by Buhari and co. They were playing, calculating the old MPP, MP, and UPN strategy that Atiku will win. But when they saw the blowout exit polls that gave the blowout win to Peter Obi, that was when they instructed Mahmoud Yakubu to stop. And that was why we went to court. The processes are simple. After the vote, transmit them. So why did you not stop? Why don't you transmit it? You start to write it. And they asked INEC in court, at what point did you make that announcement midnight? Declaring Mr. Tinubu, they said after 31% of upload of results. How can you be able to gain 100% of the picture to declare a winner with only 31% of uploads of results? That's why we went to court to challenge the processes.
Okay.
It is the processes that were undermined because they saw the exit poll. The exit poll was right. Peter Obi won the election.
It's okay. It's okay. But, the truth is that this case is still going to go to the Supreme Court. But there are political lessons to be learned. And if you see it that way, I mean, it's all fine. Mr. Gboko, if you can hear me, I'll give you the last word. I mean, yes. So, So the truth is that what would be some of the political lessons that you have learned from all of this? Because whether you like it or not, there are some lessons that the PEPC too must have learned from this, and that, you know, that it needs to work on if it must do well in the next election.
Let me tell you, have you bothered to ask how these elections were conducted in the Southeast? That doctor, you call the doctor, is just talking there. Do you know how the elections were won in the Southeast? They didn't allow any other parties to even vote. They stole everything. That is their revolution, Abi. We have youth everywhere. What if the youth in Lagos, had done the same thing? Or youth in the north, or youth in the southwest? There are youths everywhere. You see, what we condoned in the last election will not be condoned again. It will be unacceptable to us again. We saw so many things in Lagos here which I will not want to disclose here. So many things happened in Lagos which I don't want to disclose here. You want to win presidential election in Nigeria, 25, 30 years job. They are just making noise. Politics is deep. You build bridges. You build people. You move. You just come one day and begin to talk about, their principal talked about religious war. He said it openly that this is a religious war. That's not,
right.
That's not,
okay.
that's not Nigeria. That's not Nigeria.
I'm afraid we haven't got time. But can I ask both of you this very last question? And I want you to be very brief because we're actually out of time. Both of you are from the southeast of the country. And we understand, there's been this agitation for long that, it's about time we had a president from the southeast of the country. How do you think is the best way? What's the best way to get a president from the southeast to emerge? Let me start with you, Dr. Ononuju.
For me, Abi.
Okay, go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
Is it me or Dr. Ononuju?
Let's hear from a Dr. Ononuju.
Done. Yes, the best way to get that presidency is what we did. I can tell you this because I was in the thick of it. For the past 7-8 years, we plotted. First, we needed to find a candidate. So when last year came, a lot of our friends in the north told us there were two basic things. A lot of our people have money, but they don't have the heart to put it to politics. So we now needed to find somebody who not only has money, but also have the heart to put it to politics. And that was how we zeroed it in on Mr. Peter Obi. Because all the other ones had no traction. Because of Peter Obi's work in 2019, that was why we now got to him. At that time, he didn't really want to get in. Where we told him he must do that, he's the best. As he got in, what helped us? The cascade of emotions arising from the youth movement that started 3 years ago. They now followed Peter Obi, and Peter Obi was able to preach a national epistle that appealed to the ethnic indigenous people of Nigeria across Nigeria. And once we were able to build that pan-Nigeria consensus, that was what you saw, the miracle of 25th February. There are no two ways to do it. The way we've done it is the way we've done it. We're happy to be and we're happy about it. Peter will be president. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
If you can hear me, please, go ahead, please.
A presidential election in this country, if you want to be the president of this country, I have told you it's 20, 25, 30 years job. You have to have the structures across Nigeria. It's not an emergency thing like what we saw. Peter Obi was in PDP. Within a very short time, he moved into Labour. And you think you can win elections in Nigeria just like that? No. You have to build the bridges. You have to build the friendships. You have to build the structures. And it is not a day job. It's not an emergency job. Something that you can just do and go. That is the difference between them and us. I have a background. I know how we build this party from AD to AC to ACN to APC. We marked our time. We connected. We reached out to people. We consulted. It's not if you wake up one morning, you say you are doing, this is a religious war, and you start preaching hate and bigotry, and people will just vote you. When you are talking about the fact that this is a religious war, don't you know that you have the northerners? That you have the Westerners also who are Muslims. We know what happened in Lagos. They are telling you that they won Lagos. We know what happened in Lagos. We're not going to say it. In the fullness of time, we'll say it. What happened in Lagos.
All right, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for coming on the program.
If you want to
unfortunately,
Nigeria,
we've run out of time. Thank you very much for coming on the program. Well, that's how much we can take on the program this week. We thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.